welcome back to Travis Told You on a Tuesday or probably Wednesday when you're listening to this, May 19th, probably 20th when you listen to this. Well, I'm recording this May 19th because I am staying up waiting for the boys, because in this situation, me and the guys, we just recorded our Pirates of the Caribbean retrospective, which is going to be dropping, and then the Punisher rankings, which was tons of fun. So already I was doing a double. I was like, okay, by the time we get done, that's why I was a little late. So if anyone was expecting me at 10:30, I apologize, but that's why I was a little late. And okay, well, I said for the boys, not much to do anything else. Not going to be writing in that time, not going to be editing. Could play some games, but you know what I thought? Didn't know when Travis Told You was happening because next week I'm off on my day job, so I don't think there will be any live Travis Told Yous happening. There might be some pre-recorded, but I might take that week off because soon we're gonna get very busy. But yeah, I thought, hey, we'll just go live now, and I'm going to be staying up anyways, and I got to do a Travis Told You. You will be getting my retrospectives of Season 1 and Season 2 for Interview of a Vampire, so you got that going on. But yeah, I'm just hanging out, waiting for the boys to drop, which will be in about an hour 15, so we're going to talk about that type of thing. And then, yeah, Taylor might join us, because he's going to go to the gym, then we went extra long on Pirates, so we'll see. But yeah, we're waiting for the boys. Obviously, I'm going to stay off Twitter because I know some people have seen it. So I got news, going to talk about Lantern's trailer. Spider-Noir, I completely fucking forgot to watch. So if we have time, I'll leave that last. I mean, I'll just react to it. And then Mandalorian and Grogu, their Rotten Tomatoes numbers and stuff. So, but before we get going, a big thank you to our Patreon producers, Aaron Braden, April Darkness, Jack Grant, Superbad Mike, God Loves Me 69, A.K. Norman Reedus Fias, Hidalgo, oh yeah, Lenny Kravitz, Cocktail Clay, John with no H, Sam Green, John M, and our newest member who just joined today, Matthew Fletcher. Thank you very much. You guys support us in the best way possible. You guys get everything we do. So if everyone wants to do that, you can. Like Matthew, he's making us review Begonia, which is interesting because we talked about it. I know Taylor's seen it and I've seen it. I don't know if the other two have, but in June or July, we're going to be reviewing that. We're reviewing Only Lovers Left Alive for April. So if you want us to review something of your choice, become a Patreon producer, and then you get over 60 exclusive episodes. Every episode we do is ad-free. You get almost our entire backlog up there, which is 11 years. But yeah, it's going to be a good time this year. We got and even the two Patreon casts we just recorded. Like I said, Pirates and the Punisher rankings. Really fun time. So go check those out. We very much appreciate it. And if you can't follow us there, just subscribe down below on the video or audio feeds. We very much appreciate it. But yeah, Patreon is the best spot for us because that creates all the shows like this one. But yeah, let's get into... I'm going to start with the Patreon questions because just in case I run out of time, because I like to ramble. And if Taylor ever does get in here, that's not a guarantee. He's got to go buy Lego Batman. He's got to check on his little one. But I will bring up these questions, especially if the Star Wars one I'd like to get Taylor's opinion on. But we'll start with Lanterns. Mike, and this is a good kind of segue into it, right? He says, and also if you become a patron on any tier, you can send in questions for our newscast, Travis Told You, Weekly Geek, etc. He asks, I feel like, and I guess I will preference to, if there is anybody, I see people are watching, if you want to throw any chats in, go ahead. Usually the day show, I only put patrons or people that send super chats because I don't have the time. It's an hour. This I got like an hour 10. I got till midnight. Once that clock is 12:01, I got to get watching because then me and Taylor are going to be back later tonight. If you're watching live, we're going to review The Boys tonight, so look out for that. Mike G says, I feel like I'm seeing very meh anticipation levels for the show, despite having the pedigree of HBO, fantastic writers, great leading men. Why do you think that is? Do you think there's an overall DC thing or specifically the show's trailer vibe? And also, do you think we're in the era where DC properties have a bigger hill to climb to get audience support as compared to Marvel stuff? So to hit on that one first, yes, I think they still do, other than Batman. I think Batman is a lock. He is an icon character. It's the two of them are Batman and Spider-Man, right? You can argue the other Mount Rushmores, but I think those are the two that even if, let's say, Avengers came out and bombed, and I guess Supergirl, right? Let's say every comic book movie, but in the next 2 years, let's say every comic book movie bombed, I would still have my money on Spider-Man, Brand New Day not bombing, and the Batman bombing. If there's some genius that, hey, in the future, only two of these are successful, I'd put my money on those two because they are just the iconic characters. If they go the way of the Westerns, right, and comic book films go away, I think that, oh, sorry, I gotta share that. I think that they would just still be the last one standing. I think, let's see. Okay. those are just two iconic characters. Even Superman, other characters like Hulk has troubles. Wonder Woman, the X-Men. Let's hang on one second. I forgot to send this out. There we go. Okay. But yeah, I think DC will always have that, because I think the other thing is when we do get in this situation now where, as we saw last year, last couple of years, right? Lots of disappointing comic movies for DC and Marvel as far as box office goes. I think if people have to pick, and let's take the big two out, right? Spider-Man, Batman. Let's say for some reason they don't have movies for the next 5 years. And if people go, hey, I'm a little bored on superhero movies, but if they have to pick or they go to see one a year, I do think it's Marvel. Now, granted, of course, there is Superman and Wonder Woman, some bigger characters, right? Or even like a Joker. Don't get me wrong, they can have them, but I think with the brand, people are just checked in a little bit more with Marvel still right now. I think with Doomsday, that is a big test, because I think that could win a lot of people back, or that could also turn a lot of people to be like, you know what, I'm officially done with this type of stuff. So I think they still have the hill to climb right now. Yes, Superman outperformed Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, and Brand New Day it is Brand New Day last year, right? So maybe that's the start. But do we think Supergirl's outperforming them? No. Do we think Superman is like Man of Tomorrow is going to outperform Avengers Secret Wars? No, right? It probably won't even outperform Batman in my opinion, right? And we'll see what it does. It could be lower. I don't know. So there's that. I think also when you say, do you think it's an overall DC thing? There's part of that is true, because I guess the best way to phrase it is, I guess the two best scenarios, right, for a universe or just a franchise coming back or whatever. You got Iron Man in 2008. Now, granted, I don't think like the MCU would grow and get Avengers and Civil War and Black Panther and all these other projects, right? You would get these projects, but I feel like with 2008 Iron Man, and I knew Iron Man. There's a lot of people that didn't, but I knew Iron Man. I was a comic book reader, and me and my friends love playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance together. So even that, my close friends knew him, right? But I remember that night when we saw Iron Man together, it was the shit. It was, I can't remember how old I was at that point. I was like, what? So I was about 14 to 15, somewhere in there. And it was just so cool to have this character and have people like my mom or other people that didn't know who Iron Man was ask me about these things, right? Like, oh, who's this? And the Sept Avengers, that started to be very exciting. So that was like a very exciting start to the universe. And that just felt like it brought in a lot of people that I think it is one of those films like, oh, this is what a comic movie can be, right? And then the other one was Force Awakens, where whatever you want to say about what happens after the fact, that got so many people in and so many people excited. It was like, oh, fuck yeah, Star Wars back. I love Force Awakens. I think there's tons of people that love Superman and enjoy it a lot, and could be one of their favorite comic book movies, right? I talk about to the Manny all the time. Like, he's always rewatched that thing, right? He still is just like a good comfort popcorn type movie. I get that. Um, I think though Superman is not the same way of Iron Man 2008 or Force Awakens. It started a universe or a return to a classic character, but I don't think it has like an overwhelming love by a lot of people. It didn't have that hype. It was like, oh, this is a fun time, I think, for the general audience, right? But as we've talked about before, Emma was not a fan of Superman. When I saw my S Bubs, he said his mom wasn't. There's people like that where I feel they bring up like, oh yeah, they weren't the biggest fans of Superman. Where I'm sure they're out there, but when Force Awakens and Iron Man 2008 came out, it was everyone you bumped into like, oh, I love that movie. That was a great time, right? Where Superman, I don't think it had that impact. And even technically, right? Man of Steel still beat it. I think Man of Steel does come off of The Dark Knight, so that has a lot of that buffer too. And it's close enough that I think with inflation and budget, they're just almost a toss up. But I think that's one. And then I do think it is. I think it is for. Because you're right, Mike. It's on HBO. It's got fantastic writers. And yeah, great leading man. Kyle Chandler's a great actor. Aaron Pierre, seemingly a great actor, like up and comer. Not super well known names though, right? I can't speak for everybody, but I feel like there is a good portion of people like myself where, don't get me wrong, day one when they did the whole slate and James Gunn said, "Oh, this is Lanterns and this is what we're doing with it." They've stuck with it, right? It's gonna be a true detective-esque type of show. Gonna be solving mysteries, a bit more grounded. So they advertised that, and they did that. But that'd be like, hey, I'm making pizza, and it's got mushrooms on it. And then I go in the store and I'm hoping maybe they got another flavor. And they go, nope, there's just mushrooms on this pizza. I hate mushrooms. Now, I don't hate what they're doing with lanterns. It just doesn't excite me. I get why they might not want to do a movie, especially if they're maybe trying to do some movies that are of smaller budget, because Green Lantern does have to be big and fantastical, right? But to me, grounded, gritty maybe not so much, but grounded as lanterns. They go, I don't know. Like, is there not anyone else? Could you not do this story with the question? Could you not do this? And don't get me wrong, this news trailer, I've liked both trailers. I think overall the show's still going to be good, but I agree with you, Mike. There is just a general, and I think it's a combination of things. Like I said, I don't think people are completely locked in this DCU yet. I think Superman was liked a lot, but not like overly loved. I think Peacemaker 2 was a big miss. I don't know if Supergirl's going to be that, even though I'm excited for that. So I think DCU's not there. I think people do just, if I'm going to make it a comic book thing, I will go to Marvel. And then there's some people that are the hardcore people that are like, okay, sure, yeah, it's grounded, but I don't think that affects the overall populace, because they're just going to tune into maybe what a detective show is, right? It happens to have superheroes or superpowers, but um, I there is a general not the same excitement as just other stuff. Like, I almost feel like there's more for Creature Commandos, because that's the thing. And I don't know, they haven't seen those trailers yet, but I'm reviewing Lanterns alone because Kirkland and Taya really have no interest in it, right? It is a pain as well too, because the Sunday reviews for us are always tough, but still, if they're very excited, they're there for Peacemaker, and they like Superman more than me. So like they've liked, and I think they probably liked Peacemaker more than me, right? But these trailers have, and I think that first trailer, I like it and enjoyed it. And again, I like the comic genre, but I don't think it locked a lot of people in. And now the second trailer, I think this was good. This definitely was like a bunch of people complained we didn't have enough Green Lantern and constructs and power in it. Let's get it in there. My only worry with that is for the people that they're appeasing, right? My only worry is all the constructs and the powers, the stuff that did they take the best of what they got and put it in this trailer to try to win people over, or is that just like a taste of what's to come? I don't know. It's interesting that they're covering two time periods. It's interesting that they're supposedly doing a season 2 already. They're looking into the report. It came from Jeff Snyder that it wasn't greenlit, but they're kind of putting plans in place. And Lindelof and Tom King would not be a part of it, which is a little disappointing, but at the same time, they said, okay, they're going to be busy with other things, and the other guy has some comic book cred. So sure, okay, maybe that could work out. But it is just like, okay, with Lindelof, especially too, today, that clip going around of him talking about Star Wars, man, what a fucking shot, right? Like, what a blow to the heart for me. It was just like hearing them like, oh yeah, this sounds like great ideas. And especially when they're like, oh, they hired me, they liked the pitch, and then just 2 years later, they fired me. He said, I was fired, right? So it's like, man, like, what are we doing over here? And he didn't know if he was the quality or the time, but I trust Lindelof enough. Like, the stuff I've seen of his, I enjoy. I do think I'll still enjoy this show, but there is a general lack of excitement. And again, maybe it's just that. Maybe it's just due that people, they're not looking for another comic book show, right? Because there's still lots of them with DCU and other, like, The Boys, right? It's like even the, I guess it's still comic show, right? But just superhero genre in general. Um, so yeah, they're gonna have to get some good word of mouth on those Sundays. You're gonna have to kind of be like, what was it? What was the Welcome to Derry? I feel like that show had a good build, right? We even talked about it before, where our first reviews were lower in the numbers, and then thing kept building and building, and then the penultimate and finale really built, and people really like those. I think you have to do that a little bit with Lanterns, because I feel like people are not invested. And then the other thing for me is the season 2. That's not, like, I guess that's great because maybe that shows that they have some confidence in it, but I really don't want the Lantern Corps to be locked up in TV. I was kind of hoping this was going to be just like a mini series that would introduce the world a bit and some of these characters, and then we'd fly up to space and get that big movie. But I worry, especially when we talk about Mando and the predictions as far as like it, or the tracking as far as being a little lacking, could be lowest Star Wars movies in Solo, right? Or lower than Solo. And you go, well, maybe TV characters don't work. We've seen that bit with the MCU, right? Like, to do the crossover to get the big success. So sure, you're gonna put a Man tomorrow, but if, to me, I would hope it's like, okay, you get the story in Lanterns, you get him in Man of Tomorrow, and then you can fire him off and do his own movie, right? But if season 2 is in possible pre-production, I don't think that's happening. So yeah, I'm coming from like a pessimistic sort of place because I haven't loved the DC, right? I've talked about that many times. So I'm somebody that I'm very just nonchalant. It sucks because I always wanted. I am obviously a Marvel guy, right? I've said this before though. I goes Batman, Marvel, then DC. Batman's above all. If I could only take one thing, I'm taking Batman, right? But even though I am a bigger fan of Marvel, I love DC. You know, I grew up with the animated block, right, of Batman, Superman, and Justice League Unlimited, Batman Beyond. Loved that stuff, right? A lot of stuff, other comic books, etc. Games, all that. You know, like they're very close in love and passion. So, but I can freely admit that, yeah, I'm more a Marvel guy. But still, I remember when Endgame happened, and at that time, it's like, okay, we're gonna Shazam and some other projects. But I was like, man, I really wish one day DC can get their Endgame, right? Sure, like I said, it's a little late, and usually now with the workout I have, I go to bed at 11:30. So tonight's gonna be interesting because I'm staying up till 2:33. It's gonna be interesting, folks, for me on this boys review. But hopefully the boys review is boys episode's great, so I can just power through it and be excited and jazzed. Oh, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so for me, it's just kind of they're just announcing stuff. I'm like, okay, let's see the next one. I'm excited for Supergirl. I'm excited for Lanterns. Even Clayface trailer looks good, but I don't feel like people are completely locked in this universe yet, and maybe this year will do that. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it changes, and maybe the good word of mouth will get that changing too. But definitely, Mike, there is a small, not a small, but there is a contingency of people that just like don't really care about this, you know. So, but I thought this trailer was good. I thought it was good, showing some young Hal Jordan, which is great. I do still don't really like the suit. I'm not on ever like I know some people are really negative, not really negative, but I think it's just fine. There's that one shot of Kyle Chandler and he's looking like Kingpin from Spider-Verse. It's massive on him, but it's just like I don't know. It doesn't look the greatest there. Taylor has joined us. So, Taylor, I will bring this up. So, Taylor, I'm going to throw this to you while I bring up this caution because it bugged the shit out of me. But Superman Mike asked, I feel like I'm seeing, and this is a good example for you because you and Kirkland both said you're not on this review. Mike G says, I feel like I'm seeing a very meh anticipation levels for Lanterns, despite having the pedigree of HBO, fantastic writers, and great leading man. Why do you think that is? Do you think it's an overall DC thing? Do you think it's the show's trailer vibes? Do you think it's the air of DC properties just have a bigger hill to climb than Marvel? So you're somebody that you saw that trailer, almost unsold you. I did preference that like the Sunday reviews are always tougher coming off House of Dragon. So some of that is real world stuff. But why is Lanterns so far not making you be like, okay, I'll make an exception for a Sunday, Welcome to Derry or House of Dragon?
Oh my goodness. I should have mentioned I have not seen the trailer yet. I just seen screenshots.
Oh, that's
from
fine.
it.
But you're still
Okay,
not
okay.
you're still not watching it, right? Or like you're not planning on reviewing it and watching it right away.
Well, I might. I don't know. This is tricky. It depends how hot I feel after House of the
Oh,
Dragon.
what do you mean? That has nothing to do with it.
Sundays.
Oh fuck! I accidentally played the Avengers trailer in my ear, and that was super loud because we were showing Kirkland. What did you say, sorry?
Sundays.
Yeah, right. Yeah, how hot you're feeling there. I'll bring up the trailer and I'll show you it. But is it just that Sunday for that, or is there any other reason why you're not feeling anticipated for this show?
I mean, to be honest, yeah, it just doesn't have a major kind of pull to me for some reason, which is crazy because I feel like I've been craving something Green Lantern esque since at least since the Snyder era. I remember when we got the Snyder cut, and we see that Lantern fighting in that Dark Side battle, the precursor scene to the movie and whatnot with all the gods and the different factions. That got me super hyped. But I'm kind of thinking like, I would have liked a little bit something more Snyder oriented Green Lantern than this. Now, again, granted, I've not seen the trailer, so I can't say too much. But I'm not really. Like I like Superman more than I thought I would. I like Creature Commandos a lot more than I thought I would. Supergirl, I don't feel that kind of pull to it though. But again, I said the same thing about Superman. So I think it's just one of those things. Maybe after I watch it, then I'll start to feel a little bit of a pull towards it. But at face value, I have just not been feeling a draw towards a lot of this DC stuff currently. Even Clayface, I'm not feeling much of a.
Did you see that trailer for
I did.
Clayface?
I did watch that trailer. Yeah, I didn't feel much of anything like kind of like pulling me into that. So. Yeah,
But maybe it's like Superman though, right? Because you and Kirkland were lower on it before, and then when you
that's
guys
true.
watched it, you guys liked it more than me. So maybe the marketing's not hitting for you, but maybe
That's
the
true.
actual product. But here, I'll bring this up here. We'll watch here. Let me get a little lower on audio, but I'll do this subtitles.
This ring, it's the greatest weapon in the universe.
constructs going
When
on in this
if
trailer.
to use it, that's the whole ball game, Junior.
Did you just use that ring to counterfeit money?
No.
Tell me how you got it. The ring.
You know how I got it. I sure as hell didn't interview for it.
Oh, well, shit, maybe you should have. Power like that, shouldn't you have to work for it?
I've been doing this since you were a baby. And the only way you're gonna get this ring is over my dead fucking body.
I think he likes me.
I will say I don't know why. Something about both trailers, whenever Kyle Chandler is flying, it's just not looking the something off about it. I don't know why.
Everybody is lying to us.
You're not leaving here till we find out what they're hiding. Danger's part of the job. You need to be fearless.
How are you chosen for this?
It's only one question. Are you afraid? You afraid?
Are you afraid? Are you afraid? Are you afraid? Are you afraid?
I was raised fearless, and I'll do this better than he's ever done it before.
Then go and get it, Jon Stewart.
So we're getting 3 different lanterns in here, all at the same
Yeah, you
time.
got him and Guy Gardner. Well, you could get more if they go to like Oa or anything like that, but for sure.
Well,
but
I just
this
felt
is my
like human
only-
lanterns, there wasn't a lot of them. I thought there was only like 2, but one at a time kind of a thing. I don't know anything about the lantern history.
I think maybe when it's because I know they're like the defender of Earth or guardian of Earth. I think kind of started that way, but then I think they kind of went away from that because there's like Jessica Cruz and Carol Ferris. So I think they eventually went away to being more. There's more than just one human going on. But yeah, we got our first look at the suit, and so this suit is very similar to a comic book run called the Earth One comic book. So it is like from the comics. I don't love it. In this shot, it doesn't look as bad, but this shot over here, I'll bring it up. Oh, I'm not even on YouTube. My bad. When he's like in the prison, I shared the Kingpin gif in the Discord. Like
I did see that.
Look at that suit on him. It's huge. That does not look proportioned to him at all. Like, who did the suit fitting? Like, maybe there's something I'm missing, but why is he so like? Why is it so broad in the shoulders? It's so big, and his head looks
Did
so
he not
little.
just work out for this role? Did he not get in shape?
That's fine. They still
Is that
make the
his,
suit
his
bigger.
body? But
That's
is that the
not his
suit or is
body.
that his body?
No, like look, like I'm not body shaming Kyle Chandler, but like look at it, like that'll be fine when he's flying here, like where, right there. That's not the suit. He didn't get
Yeah,
that big. He's not
that's
Dwayne
true.
Johnson in this thing, so I don't know. I don't love that, but I like the trailer. I said though before you got here, my only wonder is because last trailer a lot of people complained here like there wasn't enough of the constructs and the Green Lantern stuff and the powers. My wonder is this if they're going, hey, show them some of that cool stuff, or is that the majority of the cool stuff in the movie and they're just or the show and they're just showing it all off in the trailer like sell people?
Oh,
Right?
I bet that's majority in the show, and they're just like pitching it out there, like check it out.
Well, yeah, I just remember too. Like remember with Madam Web when we got all those costumes and we're like, these are in here for like 2 minutes, and they were right. So
Yeah.
that's I don't know. I hope for their case or not because there's some cool stuff like that's looking cool. I love this shot of Kyle Chandler when he walks in the bar and they take shots at him. He makes like the ball thing there. So yeah, that's good. I think I have heard a rumor though, which I don't love, that apparently Nathan Fillion and Kyle Chandler don't even share like any screen time, which I don't like because I feel like I'd like to see the history of those two. But the trailer do anything for you? Move the
I
needle at all?
mean, visually it looks really, really good, which I mean that's never really been a question when it comes to HBO Crave shows. They always kind of they stick out a few extra dollars and don't really cheapen on the budget for things. So I'm glad that
Yeah.
it looks really good as it does, and it kind of fits the aesthetic that James Gunn's Superman has kind of established too. So I like the trailer. It was good. It has some humor in there, and not anything too overbearing, but it's definitely got me curious about how many lanterns there are. And I like seeing Guy Gardner's appearance in there too. I think that it makes sense. Has to tie in somehow because you've got him already established in the Superman movie. So
Yeah. Well, onto that front, we'll move over to Star Wars. I'm glad you're here. So right now on Rotten Tomatoes, which is not the be all end all. We talk about sometimes predictions, things like that, but started at 58 this morning, Taylor. So it was in the Rotten, and then it climbed up to 64. So it was positive. Right now it's 60. So it's literally right on that line. It's one negative review away from being Rotten. And then I guess right now what I can look at too is they brought this back. So it has an average rating. So they because if people don't know, Rotten Tomatoes, the 60% is not what people think, even though the average score is close. It's how many critics give it a pass or a fail. But then there's the average of the score, and the average score is a 5.9 out of 10. I always thought, because I was on the predictions episode, I always thought this was going to be like 50 to 65. I always thought 65 the highest it could get. So I think to me the positive of this is it's not, rocking those low 40s or anything like that. So it's not like a complete train wreck, but it definitely is not like and again, like I still question how much critics really make a difference. I think sometimes it helps to get some universal acclaim, but I think sometimes it's even more within people instead of, like Emily saw Project Hail Mary because I talked about how great it was, not because the critics raved about it, right? Like I feel there's some people that still check this. Of course, it's always good you'd much rather have a movie in the hundreds than in the 60s, but at the same time, we've also talked about movies before that have like amazing scores and they've fucking bombed. So I don't think it's the be all end all. I think it's like one of these things, if you want to see it, see it. If you don't, then don't. I don't think the score is going to decide it. I think this is kind of what I'm expecting is somewhere between like a 5 to 7 out of 10. Like, and I think 7's being nice, and we'll see what happens because this is already 2 days away. It does not feel like that, Taylor. But yeah, how you feeling about that? That's not awful, not great. But then I have some follow up questions. But
Is that 60 you said?
60% with a score with an average rating with all of them put together 5.9 out of 10. So it seems like the average score is like 6 out of 10 pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, I was curious what Solo had. Solo has
It's like 64, 63 or something, right?
popcorn meter is 63 and then
That doesn't
tomato
count.
meter is 69.
Okay, so that the critics is 60. So actually the fans are lower on than the critics then for the popcorn meter is the user rating.
Okay.
Yeah, so actually viewers were lower on that, and I don't know what the user rating will be for this because gotta see how many people actually see it, So, but were you surprised by the score? Did you think it might be lower or higher?
I thought it
Or
might
right
be a
on
little bit
line.
lower when they said it was like around like the 50 mark. I thought, okay, this is kind of in line with what I was expecting it was going to be because I feel like it's just a safe and secure Star Wars adventure movie. I don't think it was going to break barriers by any means. I mean, you don't, as far as I'm aware, you don't have any lightsabers swinging around in here, so there's that. But it's kind of exactly where I was kind of expecting it to land. It really, really is, which is a shame because I would have loved for it to be a little bit better. But it's just where Star Wars is right now, and even the fact that we've been dehydrated and dry of having Star Wars on the big screen for 7 years. Yeah, 7 years. Even that's not even giving it the big woo-woo because, I mean, you'd think having no Star Wars in the theaters for such a long period of time would have boosted it up. I'm sure that's what Disney thought. I mean, look at Avatar. Avatar gets that kind of kick. At least Avatar 1 and 2, it had that, but that was a very, very long time. But I would have thought Star Wars would have had something like that too, but I guess just didn't.
Yeah, it's funny because I think now it's all in retrospect, right? Because when they announced this, I understood it, but I think just the way the world has passed, I think they looked at it as like, okay, Mandalorian and especially Grogu, that'll cash and we can go do that, right? But now I think it's the reverse where we see, okay, maybe it's because it is based off a TV show. Some people are like, well, I don't need to see this. Like, I got the 3 seasons of the show. There's nothing too new about it. So we'll see. But S-Bubs asked, with some of the reactions and reviews coming in, what are your final predictions for Mandalorian Grogu box office, possible effects on the rest of the upcoming Star Wars projects? So obviously you guys talked about box office last week, so I don't need to get your prediction there. For me, I need to, because it didn't Solo finish at something like 370 or something? 393. Okay. I still think it does lower than Solo just because I still think Solo's a bigger character, and I think that's at a time where way more people were seeing movies. Now, granted, it's starting to climb up. I think I can't remember what the number is, but it's like some of the best numbers since COVID. So there are people coming in. There's been studies that Gen Z people are seeing theaters way more than the baby boomers and everything. So this next generation of crop people, maybe they're going to come in and see this stuff, right? But I'm talking about in the era that like 2016 to 2019, you had movies that were just making $1 billion left and right? So
Yeah.
I just think there's more people to see Solo, where I still think, and people got to be careful too, because I've seen some people share like, oh, that's just now tracking for an 80 to 100 million. No. That's been some of the 4-day forecasts. And remember, in America, it's a holiday. So don't get me wrong. That's not like awful, but that's not the 3-day. The 3-day could still be like the 60 or whatnot, like we talked about. So I'm going to go, if that's 393, I feel good with like, which it could be less. I'm going to say like 352, like something like that. I think you can get to 350, but I don't think you can get to 400. But you never know with movies nowadays. There's some crazy phenomenons. And then what are the possible effects on the rest of the upcoming Star Wars projects? Obviously, I think if it... Oh, that's what I was going to say. We don't know anymore with opening weekends now. There used to be a thing where we would open high, and then you'd have these drops here or there, and then either two things would happen. Either it'd be a big drop or a really small drop, but that was more rare, where now it feels like the big drops are pretty rare. Like we talked about this week, right, with Mortal Kombat, that had a massive drop, and that happens all the time where some of these movies are very front loaded. So it's all gonna be about weekend two. We really won't know, even if Mandalorian, even if it hits higher than Solo or lower than Solo, we're not gonna know what it's like until week 2 and 3, because that's gonna be, okay, what's the return business? I could see a big drop. And what's it mean for the rest of upcoming projects? Obviously, if this doesn't do well, I think Mandalorian Grogu, I don't know what's next for them, because I don't know if they would greenlight a season 4.
They're not getting a season 4. I mean, what's next? They appear in another project, but I mean, if the rumors are true, you got Ahsoka distancing itself from Mando and Grogu. So I just think you see them like the finale for season 3. They sit down in front of their house and roll credits, and that's it. They're just going to be put on the back burner and pulled in the future. Because, I mean, yes, Pedro is the Mandalorian, but you could pretty much put anyone under that helmet and have someone but do the voice, right? So
yeah. Well, and the other thing I pitched too when we were talking about this in GUA, I also could see, if it all goes to hell, that they might finish the story, do something new in animation, right? They could do that where like,
oh yeah, that's classic Finoli,
Dave Finoli, you bastard. But like, if it does go bad, it's like I don't know, because also I know there's gonna be people that enjoy this and think it's just like a fun Saturday night morning cartoon type of episode. So if they want more, and it is strange with Mandalorian and Grogu, they were the brand for a while, so it'd be strange to throw them away. And we don't know how this regime's gonna act, right? Because that's what happened with Solo. Solo bombed, and then they're like, "Hey, no more Star Wars stories. Like, no more movies. Let's just do the sequel trilogy and get it done with." So I don't know if Filoni's gonna have that same idea, that okay, or even if it's higher up, as we talked about with the Kylo Ren thing, right? It's not Bob Iger. I don't know who the person is running Disney now. I forgot. It's a new CEO. But what if they're like that? They go, "Hey, that movie bombed. Yeah, you're not getting a season 4. Sorry, I can't spend the money on that." So that would kind of suck. But like I said, I think animation's always a possibility. Or again, Grogu can always be older. And then because to kind of tie into this, Johnny in the Discord this morning asked like, what this would do to Filoni. And I don't actually think, because I've seen a lot of memes, like I've seen a few of the Joe Pesci memes and everything, like Filoni after the first week of The Mandalorian. I don't think that's happening. I think they will wait for, my system was, I think they'll do a 3-strike system. Not saying they actually have it in their mind, but just Mandalorian Grogu was also greenlit and turned into a movie via Kathleen Kennedy as well, right? So she's a part of that decision, so that failure would go on her as well. And then
people won't look at it like that, though.
No, they won't, especially because Dave's so tied to it, right, with his stuff. But still, she gave the green light. But that's where I'd say that one's kind of like, no, that goes aside. Starfighter, same thing. I think if that's still some bones of Kathleen Kennedy, and same, it's like, it's only the second movie. I think if he puts out a third movie, and I think that's what's key. And who knows, though, right? If Starfighter does super well, kind of saves him for a little bit, right? Because he'd be, we could do a Starfighter 2 or do some more in this universe. I don't know. I think for me, and that's what I'm very curious to see in the next couple of years, what is that third Filoni movie under the regime? I'm not talking about movies that are going to be announced. Like, what actually goes through, whether it's that Heir of the Empire, whether it's Episode 10, that's super key for him. I think he needs to make sure that's a movie that rocks. So I actually don't think, and they just made the change, I don't think Filoni would be out if Mando and Grogu did bad. Do you agree, or do you have some conspiracy theory that if this doesn't go good, and even Starfire, I think if Starfire didn't do good, I still think he would have a chance to stick around for another one, because we can't equate TV, because we don't get to know like what they want for the ratings, right? There might be something lower, but if they spent money and they're happy on that, TV's harder to judge. Where the movies, we kind of have an idea.
Yeah, no, I think that he's safe for the time being, for the foreseeable future. I don't think he's gonna be put any harm's way by any means. It's trial and error. They're gonna do out a couple projects, and he's got a pretty hot streak with the animated stuff. So it's not like he's going into the arena down a few points. He's got a few already locked and loaded, right? And so it'll be interesting to see what happens, because we've had so many Star Wars celebrations where it's like, oh yeah, check it out, these new movies have been announced, and then nothing comes from it. So I think it's gonna, you get Starfighter, a bunch of new animated projects, but I think the real kicker will be if he actually delivers on what he says and what they announce. If he doesn't, then I think you could see him disappear slowly as we get closer to like 2029, 2030.
George is coming back. He's going to take the crown. No,
Yeah.
that's something I do hope would happen. And that would, to me, win him big points with me if he could announce stuff and then it actually come out and go into production, you know, because then I can actually get excited for it. Now, anytime they get to announce something, I can't get excited because I don't know what it's going to be, you know? So I'm going to throw you this question. You're going to have to think on the spot. I'll go first, but Matthew Fletcher, who I talked about earlier, became a patron today again, or was a patron, but became a producer. Thank you very much for supporting us at the highest tier. But he said, if you could have any living director make an original Star Wars movie, who would it be? Who would star, and what would the story be about? Also, you have an unlimited budget, so true dream scenario. And then Mike added, if there could be someone to write the script, someone that's not also directing. So obviously, I'm going to try and think of a couple here. But the easy answer for me is, well, Christopher Nolan, and then his brother Jonathan Nolan writes the script, and Nolan kind of helps out that, right? It's funny with Nolan, because he had talked about today, they released a 60 Minutes interview where he's talking about Odyssey, and he's talking about back in the day, him and his brother, when they were 8 and 9, like making like Star Wars fan films, you know? And I don't know have you ever seen this clip, Taylor, a 60 seconds, like, they play a game where they ask him about like word association with Nolan. Have you seen this before?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up, because his answer always made it interesting for me, but hang on. Word association. Is that it? No, it's not going to bring up the stuff I want, right? Okay, so I can't find it. But anyways, it was like, it was bringing up like, someone's like, oh, would you direct, oh, damn, maybe find it. It was like, oh, would you direct TV? And then like, no, let's see, Christopher Nolan, Star Wars. Let's see. Can I find it here? Okay, maybe this short found it for me. Okay, here we go. So this is, 6 seconds. They just rapid fire him a bunch of questions. And this is why I always thought like, there's part of him that wants to do this. Here
We'll
we
be
go.
making movies in 10 years.
Yes.
Could you make a TV show one day?
No.
Do you think there's life elsewhere in the universe?
Pass.
After Batman, do you want to direct another superhero movie?
No.
Will AI destroy humanity?
No.
Do you still refuse to have a smartphone?
Yes.
Are you afraid of death?
Yes.
Could you have a TikTok account?
No.
Well, if you don't have a smartphone, it's not easy anyway. Is Interstellar your favorite movie in your filmography?
Pass.
Would you like to make a Star Wars movie?
Pass.
Is music
How quickly he said pass to his own filmography.
Pass.
Would you like to make a Star Wars movie?
Pass.
There is a beat there. There is a beat there. Now, do I think that, because this is the dream scenario, do I actually think it's going to happen? No. I think Nolan would get there. I think it's we still got the Punisher background. Fuck. I think Nolan would get there. He'd pitch his stuff, and I just don't think, you're going to have, I'm going to switch to the GV logo. It's a Weekly Geek now. Is Nolan going to be listing the Filoni and all this stuff? No. I think that's a similar thing to Bond, where it's like Nolan's Nolan, but you never know, right? That could be the thing of, let's say that does happen. Mando bomb, Starfighter bomb, whatever that third film is. And they go, fuck, we really need something for Star Wars. And it's like, well, there's Nolan. Let's say he's still killing it. Again, it could be memed about, but you get that trailer, a Star Wars movie directed by Christopher Nolan. People are checked in. They're locked in, and that's a way to get people back. So that would be my dream. As far as Matthew asked, who would I to star? As usual, my perfect answer would be nobody. Like, it'd be somebody I've never known before. God, not Finn. John Boyega and Daisy Ridley. I had no idea who they were. And Oscar Isaac, I had seen like one thing. That's the way I prefer Star Wars. If I was going to get anyone to star in it, because because I'll pick an actual star. Because all the people I'd pick is like somebody from one project, you know, I'll pick like the girl from Obsession, you know, get her. But no, what I would do is, Taylor, they haven't done this since Dark Knight Rises. Christian Bale, he almost wasn't Solo. He was almost the Woody Harrelson role, but scheduling conflicts got in the way. He's talking about how much he loves Star Wars. That's when we get the band back together. We got Jonathan Nolan, Christopher Nolan. They're writing the script. Nolan's directing and it's starring Christian Bale, and then boom, and do whatever you want to be. I'm trying to think of anybody else, but do you have anybody else that someone you'd want to star in Star Wars, and then do you have someone, a director you'd like to tackle it?
Oh man, that is a good question. I mean, I've been trying to think of an option to direct, but that's tricky.
Steven Soderbergh and the what was it, the Ben Solo project? What was that name? The Hunt for Ben Solo.
Hunt for Ben Solo, yeah. Let's see here.
But that would be, and like I had other ones, like I had Ryan Coogler, but Kathleen Kennedy said she talked to him about Star Wars, and he said he didn't want to do it. So, and
Let's
that's
give
where
Jordan Peele a shot.
Jordan Peele, hey, that would be interesting.
I liked what he did with Nope, but I feel like, okay, he can create certain kind of, he can handle a little bit of a sci-fi kind of thing.
Oh man,
Yeah.
look at the after Star Wars about Disney. There's this Reel 3, the ultimate Star Wars Episode 7 director wish list. Let's see what they come up with there. Steven Spielberg. If you believe rumors, he kind of ghost directed Episode 6. Del Toro's come up a lot. Del Toro's another one, man. You've heard about the project he was working on with Star Wars, right?
I'm pretty sure I did. I don't remember it though.
He was working on like a Cantina movie, so it's gonna be like practical aliens and monsters and all that type
Okay.
of stuff. And obviously, of course, didn't happen. Ang Lee, no. Brad Bird, who directed Incredibles, yeah, he would have been good for Episode 7. I could saw that. Is JJ even on this list? Extended list? Okay, I love him, but who in their right mind is? Don't get me wrong, I'd be down for Sam Raimi to direct a Star Wars movie. Sam Raimi to direct Episode 7. I don't know about that. That's that feels like an odd fit. They had him, Alfonso Cuarón, David Fincher. This list had Ryan Johnson, so they got him, you know. But yeah, they didn't have JJ at all. So yeah, I'm trying to think. There's Ryan Coogler. I'm trying to think who else would I want. Let me look at my letterboxes, because that's the way I do things now today. I look at my letterbox and my lists I make for the year to see who. Do you have any actor though you'd like to see in a Star Wars?
Oh yeah, that's tricky. Oh my goodness. I mean, a lot of the actors that I follow have kind of made an appearance, like Jude Law, but that's Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, like obviously it's a cheap pick because everyone does that, but you know, I wouldn't be opposed to Phil Lord and Chris Miller as always. You know.
Yep, that's true. That's true. And we already got Ryan Gosling in Star Wars, so.
And Wuthering Heights, Emerald Fennel, you know, see Saltburn, see what she does there. I wouldn't mind Jacob Elordi as a scoundrel. That's another person. If I had to pick a star, I can get Nolan and him. Okay, so 2026 doesn't have much for me. 2025, what do we got going on here? Because yeah, Coogler would have been my pick, but if he doesn't want to do it, if he says he's not a fan of Star Wars, then you definitely, not that you can't make a good film if you're not a fan. We've seen that before, but I think that does help with Star Wars.
Yeah, for sure.
I wish Tron Ares as a film would have been better, because I would have picked the guy who did that. Guillermo, yeah, that'd be a good choice. Okay, nothing really there. 2024. Let's get Robert Eggers up to bat. Let's see what they do. You know what? Even though it was directed, same thing. It's animation-wise. I don't care. It's a different field, but someone that I think could fit it, the heart, the adventure, everything, creatures. Again, it's animation, but Chris Sanders, Wild Robot. I love Wild Robot. I love that vibe. I love that tone. So if you could bring that to Star Wars, I would absolutely love that. Fede Alvarez. Can't go there. You got Sean Levy. He's directing it because Deadpool Wolverine. Mad Max and George Miller's No Way. Denis, no. Who else is there? I'm trying to think if there's somebody. I swear I just saw a movie that I was quite would have been happy with that pick. Oh shit! It's somewhere in the 2024 rankings. No, maybe it's just Wild Robot. I don't know. Maybe that was just it. But yeah, I think that was it. But yeah, anyone come to your mind yet? Oh, that's who it was. Yeah.
Who was it?
I would like to see after he's done, or maybe he doesn't get to do the full trilogy. I would love to see what Matt Reeves would do with Star Wars. I'd be after, because what, you got other movies like Cloverfield and Let Her In. Those are good to great too, right? But after the 2 last 8 movies and the Batman, and I'm assuming we'll get Batman 2, I'd be really curious, because I think like the Batman's obviously darker, but the apes, those still have a lot of heart in them, right? They're darker films, but I think especially Dawn was such a perfect kind of blockbuster movie where it was a blockbuster but still had some heart there. Even Batman has that, but I would love to see what Matt Reeves could do in the Star Wars verse. But again, I don't know if that's a goal of his or a wish of his, so.
No, I think that would be pretty sweet to see Matt Reeves kind of take on that mantle and do something Star Wars related. Is he's bringing Patterson with him?
Maybe. Like he just did Mickey 17, right? So that's kind of a, it's spacey, but not that type of spacey, but someone, Zack Snyder. No, we got Rebel Moon. We're good. We got that going on there. Ridley Scott, no. James Wan.
A horror movie. I could think of a horror Star Wars movie that would be good for him.
It would depend on the project. Trey Stone and Matt Parker. I don't think we're going that route. I was trying to find like another young director that would be good. But yeah, for stars, like if I can think of other people that are stars though, that would be in there. Because again, always a no name. He's the go-to right now. But David Johnson, I would love him to be that in one of those. And you know what? Who actually impressed me a lot, because I just rewatched it the other night. I gotta log it. But Dylan O'Brien really impressed me in Send Help. McAdams has always impressed me, so that's not a surprise. But Dylan O'Brien, I think he could fit either way. And I'm not saying do those archetypes, but if you're going for the bad boy Han Solo type, you can do that. If you're going for the goody two-shoe hero type in Luke, you can do that. He could be a villain as well. He was that in Send Help. But yeah, so I like him in there. I like a Lordy. Trying to think anybody else star-wise. Finally give Samara Weaving like her big break there. Put her there. Who else? Trying to think star-wise. Not Jordan. Not Chalamet. You got Jason Finley. There's always that option. Always put her in stuff. Hiddleston would be great. Sophie Thatcher would be great. Hiddleston, I would have loved though in like I'd seen those fan casts before of him as like a young Palpatine, a young Sheev. I think Hiddleston could do a great job with that. So, yeah, I think that's what I got, Matthew. I think that's. I listened to some directors. I was trying to find someone younger as well, and again, too. Even though, that's the tough thing about Mandalorian season 3. Such a disappointment, because up until that point, Bryce Dallas Howard directed nothing but great episodes. And then we get the Lizzo, Jack Black, even to a lesser extent, but still there, Christopher Lloyd episode. Oh, and it just put an anchor on that. So let's see. A list of directors who shouldn't direct. This is from comicmovie.com from November. Oh, this is from 2012 again. Okay. Joe Johnston. Joe Johnston came up a lot. I get it. Rocketeer, Captain America. Not would have been my bag, but Wachowski's way too risky. Peter Jackson, no. Shouldn't. Christopher Nolan, my God. Joss Whedon, yeah, no. Oh, that's so funny. On this list, comicmovie.com has J.J. Abrams on the shouldn't. Oh, man. Shouldn't for Brad Bird, shouldn't for Peter Jackson. Didn't they have Peter Jackson the should? Oh, they did. Okay, what did they say? Although I have him listed above, he's listed here because he will be very distracted to finish the editing and post production of the Hobbit trilogy. Okay, whatever. It's funny just seeing like 2012 and little windows into the soul and everything. So I'm trying to see if there's anybody else. I said I was gonna pitch Bryce Dallas Howard, but
See, she came to my mind because I like the stuff that she's done. I remember that episode of Mandalorian with the ATST that she did. I really like that.
yeah,
It was
but
called,
then
like,
she
The
did a
Plebs or
black.
something.
Then she did the Jack Black Lizzo episode.
Did she really do that?
Yeah, that's hers.
Mm,
I think
Probably
part of
not
that
her
was her idea
choice.
too.
no.
Co-directors
Was it
of-
her idea?
Let's look at this. Jack Black,
No way she commissioned it.
Lizzo, Mandalorian. How did it happen? Let's see. Let's see. They're a massive Star Wars fan who frequently posts their love about the franchise. John Favreau cast him after seeing Lizzo dress up as Grogu. Okay, so it's on Favreau, the guy who's directing the movie right now.
Uh-oh. They're probably coming back for it.
Christ. I don't need. That's taking down another point for me if Lizzo and Jack Black are there. So let's see here. And let's bring up anything else in Star Wars. Check the Patreon questions about anything on Star Wars.
I'm just excited. I'm definitely getting more
Are
excited
you?
now. Yeah, because I mean,
Finally, 2 days
Mad-
later.
well, yeah, Madison's coming with me. My dad's coming too, and I was just thinking, it's just gonna be nice to be in the theater and getting to see Star Wars on the big screen, getting to see the X-wings flying around, and yeah, just being re-immersed in that familiar world that's just been gone for so long, I guess. I know we've had other animated projects, but just to get it on the big screen is going to be nice. And like when I was watching a little bit of Mando earlier, and I might watch a little bit more tomorrow or see what I can squeeze in before Thursday. But it was just kind of exciting to kind of get back into it.
Okay. I'm excited to see it with the kids. I don't have the excitement that you do for seeing that. I'm not dreading it. I'm not dreading it per se. I just don't have any excitement. So I guess that's why I'm dreading it, is I should be excited to be excited, but I'm not. But I'm excited to see it with the girls. I think we'll have a good time there. I think it'll be a fun family adventure thing. So I'll look forward to that. But yeah, I'm going to break the Spider-Man Noir trailer because I've not actually seen either. I put in the notes here. But if people don't know, we are, at least myself will be. Hopefully Kirkland and Taylor will be joining me. I think they've agreed to it. I don't think I've heard anything from Dylan yet, but our plan is to try to binge review it next Wednesday because it comes out on the Monday on like Amazon Plus or something like that. But we can find some ways to watch early, and then we'll try to do a binge review on the third or the Wednesday, because then after that Bond's out, so the us Bond boys will be busy. We do got After 9 that week too, just a busy week, which I guess I should probably announce. Well, it hasn't been a week yet, so what are you sending me here?
It's from the Spider-Noir trailer.
Is that from the trailer?
That's Nick Cage.
Jeez Louise. All right, let me screen share this. Get the CC on. But yeah, no, I did not. I forgot to watch this. We had a busy day today. Casts.
Have you seen it out there? The city's a mess.
You used to be.
I know who I used to be.
Oh, so are they saying he was Spider-Man Noir and then they
It
gave it
looks
up?
like it.
Oh.
Know who I am now.
Oh, interesting.
I'm starting over.
Are you gonna be a dick about it?
Yes, actually, a private dick, to be exact.
My friend disappeared. You're an investigator. Investigate.
I love it.
Are
Now-
we going to talk about the fact that her friend turned into some kind of sand monster?
As like saying the villains here, I wonder now, and something gets me worried, are we going to do the classic superhero thing where we get episode 1 or some flashbacks from the suit, and most of it's really going to be him just being a detective, and then at the end he's going to get the suit, like episode like...
Probably, but I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with seeing Nick Cage walk
Yeah.
in like a tuxedo and or some flashy like old school duds and just doing like murder mystery crime stuff. Like I'm down for that.
Yeah, true.
Just seems like kind of like a big deal.
What the hell is going on? I can't get into it right now.
All I know is that once it starts, it gets worse fast. Until their sicknesses eat them alive.
I do love the variety of villains we got here, though. I feel like that doesn't always
So
happen.
to
in
show
shows.
this town who's really in charge.
Very exciting.
Silvermane's got the city by the throat.
Monsters in the streets.
Were you really going to sit there and do nothing?
I was never a hero.
There's still time for you to become one.
Cool. Never thought I'd see Nick Cage do spider webs.
It's pretty fucking
Think I want to
wild.
fight? Look at me. Wrong. Because with no power comes no responsibility.
No, I'm pretty excited for this. Which way you watching? You watching Black and
Can't
White?
you see that the spider's busy?
The fuck was that?
Can't you see that the spider's busy?
Jesus Christ. How you watch? You watching Black and White or you watching?
I think I gotta watch Black and White. Just I
Yeah,
feel like
me
it's
too.
set for that, right? Like watching Werewolf by Night. I think it just fits a bit better.
Yeah.
So.
No, I'm really excited for Spider-Noir. I think just because it's a double-edged sword, right? Because I don't want it to go away, but I think this is nice where I think this is just its own thing. I don't know if they'd get season 2 or whatnot, but it is just like by itself. Even then, I saw like interviews, which I get why they asked for the SEO. They're like, oh, where's Peter Parker? It's like, clearly this is like fucking so many decades before Peter Parker. Why would that even be a thing? Like, and that's not the thing I think of. I think that's where like superhero brain rot is, right? And that happens to us sometimes. And last week, I think when I was talking about Spider-Man and Punisher, that was more of a joke because it was just funny, you know, little Italy and Spider-Man's nowhere. But for this project, this is like my dream as far as for comic book stuff, that I want the best of both worlds. I want both Marvel and DC to do the connected universe stuff, but then also Spider-Man Noir, and not to the point where it's like, oh, at the end of this, a portal is going to open up and Spider-Man Noir is going to like go join the Secret Wars movie. No, I just like that there's going to be its own thing, just kind of like the Batman thing, right? It's nice to have Batman Part 2 where it is like nothing is connected, nothing else is going on. We don't go worry about who's doing what and how's this play into it. It's just like, no, this is just gonna be a Batman movie, right? And then I still want that for a DCU Batman. I want there to be a Batman where, okay, it's them, the Bat family, and okay, how does this connect? But I'm really excited for this one. I hope it's good. I hope this is not disappointing, just because it's kind of like a perfect dream where you got Nick Cage voicing the character from the animated show, and then he becomes the live action thing. If this were to suck, it's not gonna like ruin the year or month for me, I think, but it'll be, oh man, just kind of wasted potential. But yeah, how do you think about that trailer, and what does your anticipation level for this show right now?
I mean, yeah, I haven't seen that trailer yet, so just watching it now got me pretty excited. I'm also very biased because there's a lot of things that Nick Cage does that I enjoy. I just like his acting. He's just so charismatic, and I feel like he always has his quirky little spins that he does and he throws in there. And yeah, I think he fits it so well. And like I said, when we're watching the trailer, I never thought in a million years I'd see him shooting web out of his fingers, or not fingers, out of his hands, his wrists, just like the other, live action Spider-Man. When I think of live action Spider-Man now, I'm going to think, okay, Toby, Andrew, Holland, and now Nick Cage. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that is weird.
It's cool that he's entered into the hall of live action Spider-Man. I mean, maybe there's what was his name from Madame Web? I don't really include him though.
Oh, what was his name with the no shoes? And Ezekiel Sims, I think it
Yes,
was.
Ezekiel Sims. Yeah, I don't really count him as a Spider-Man.
No,
But,
I don't think he is a Spider-Man. I think he just has like spider powers,
Yeah. But no, I think this looks great. It looks like it's going to be choreographed really well, and it looks like it's just going to be a fun whodunit kind of thing with classic Spider-Man villains thrown into the mix. So I'm getting pretty stoked for it.
Sorry, I took a bad time to cough there. Yeah, no, I am excited for it too. I'm curious where we're gonna go. I'm curious about all this stuff, man, about the future Star Wars, Marvel, Sony, and Spider-Man. There's just so much up in the air with all these projects and what's going on. But yeah, we'll have to see how it does. We'll see how it does for our numbers, see how it does for everybody else out there, and I am still surprised. That's why I'm curious about the show. I'm still surprised it's not weekly. I also would have preferred being weekly, but especially with the boys going away, which is like did good numbers this season. I would think they'd want something weekly, and I feel like Noir would do, not feel that exact. Like it's not gonna be boys-esque. Even superhero projects might be very different, but just still like another weekly series. But
Yeah.
I guess not. I guess they're banking on Rings of Power, which that's coming back in November, and then we got this, and then there's maybe some other Amazon show, but yeah, we're close today. We're about 4 minutes, and we edit this episode so I can set up, get ready, and then I'll upload this episode as well. But yeah, we're close to the boys. You think we're gonna land this plane good? It's gonna be a good time.
No, I'm very worried.
You were so positive on the show, though.
I was, and I'm liking everything that we've got, but I'm not gonna lie. This past week, I've just been kind of stewing on it, ruminating on it a little bit.
Been
and
seeing
I'm
those memes.
seeing the memes, and I'm worried. I'm really, really worried. So
yeah, I hope it's good. I hope we make it through the review too. It's been a while since we've done a late night review.
4 podcasts in one freaking night. Oh my god.
Machines, but then we get tomorrow off. That's a good thing. That's what I like about that. That's what I did like about the old school when we used to. And man, I just think about that, how we talked about this all the time in different points of the podcast, where it used to be, every week we'd get together at Dylan's, parents' place, and that was the podcast. Right now it's like that would be impossible for us to be able to like narrow down a day we all get together and not affect everything. And there was a time, and granted, some of it was because of COVID, and there wasn't much going on for other content. But I can't remember when we stopped. But there was a sling of like an era of us doing all those midnight reviews, right? Because we're still doing them for Moon Knight. I'm trying to think what shows maybe stopped that. To be honest, Disney Plus, MCU. Eventually, and I think it was, I think Kirkland just started working midnight, and then we did change it because of him. But then...
And then there were 6 p.m. releases. That kind of changed things, too.
Yeah, we did stop before the 6 p.m. release, though. We did. We had enough at that point, because I think it's also when it goes back and forth of what works. But okay, so we had WandaVision, we did that. Loki, Falcon Winter Soldier, we did that. Loki, we did that. What if we did that... Didn't really need to do What If in retrospect for some of those episodes. Like, there's some good ones, but Hawkeye, we did that. Moon Knight, this is probably where it stopped. I feel like we did stop here. Miss Marvel, I don't think we did Midnight Miss Marvel reviews, did we?
No, I don't think we did. That doesn't sound familiar.
No, and you know what? In retrospect, as much as I feel bad, I felt justified, because that show kind of had like lower numbers and everything. So I think we just kind of read the writing on the wall. I think there was time where Kirkland was like going back to school, so he couldn't be on them anyways. But I think we're like, not much buzz about this. But yeah, we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shows, Taylor, of the minute, and that's multiple hours watching them.
Yeah,
but when they were
just crazy.
It was crazy, because I never do that now. And I picked the worst timing now, too, because I've been like going to bed a bit earlier. But at the same time, some of those were hyped. Like when we got like Kang in there, or like the episode where we got Evan Peters there. Lots of Loki stuff was there. Hawkeye, when we got Fisk in his whole big suit, and Moon Knight was interesting. So luckily we had some hype stuff going on. John Walker beheading somebody with a shield,
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we had good stuff going on there. So... But yeah, we'll end the episode there, because this gives me some time to upload it. And then for us, it's 10 minutes till the boys. So thank you, everyone, who listened to. Thanks for joining me here on this just some impromptu stuff. I hope everyone that's watching enjoys the boys. And yeah, be back. We'll be back here around 1 a.m. PST, like 1:05, 1:10. We're going to watch it. We're going to sit in a chair. Hopefully we'll survive. And then hopefully we'll be energized with the finale, But... It's not going to be a boring discussion, at least. So I promise you, it'll not be boring when you hear from us next time.